Dylan, we made it. Welcome to Above the Dugout.
Oh shit.
And caught Matt by surprise and everything. I'm your host, Vince Mercandetti, alongside Matt Whelan. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
I am doing great. Can't complain. Uh, I think that we are bringing an olive branch to a large segment of baseball life today. In that we're not going to dissect the Astros scandal really at all. We might allude to it, but we're not going to talk about it at all on this entire show. We have a lot of other great things to bring you instead. Does that sound good for you, Matt? Sounds good for me.
Sounds good for me. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, that Astro scandal's getting a little overplayed now these days.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've heard every single angle possible, so instead we're going to bring you
Yeah,
something much better.
exactly.
All right, so here we go. There's been so much talk about this Astros scandal. We talked about it on Dong City. We talked about it on a rack of ribbies. It's all over the news. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's in baseball life. I think at this point, until the Red Sox get punished, everyone is getting sick and tired of talking about it, as we just mentioned. So we thought here, everyone loves a good baseball scandal, but this one hasn't impressed all of the baseball fans out there. Some of them don't think it's even that important. So we thought here between Matt and I which scandals would be better and more talked about. So we're going to start with these. These are 5 new scandals for baseball to talk about instead. Without further ado, here is superior scandals that are better than the Houston Astros sign stealing scandal. We'll start with number 1. Matt, let me know what you think of these. We can talk about them a little, dissect them a little bit, and then move on to the next one. You ready?
Sounds good, my man.
Awesome. Superior scandals. Here we go. Number 1, if the Oakland Athletics, including Coach Bob Melvin, came out of the closet simultaneously, but they acted flamboyantly gay. They didn't just come out of the closet. So we're talking snapping towels in the locker room. We're talking dancing to CNC Music Factory to celebrate wins, getting topless with each other, giving post-game interviews, maybe some of them
Oh,
dressed in drag, all of it. So bonus points for all of that, but this is a flamboyantly gay team coming out of the closet all at the same time. Matt, what do you think of that? What's your reaction to that?
well, I don't know if he should be flipping towels in the locker room with the other boys, though. Might get some little lawsuits happening there.
It's an IL
But hey,
trip.
man, if he wants to come out as a flamboyant gay, by all means, have fun, Bobby. Have fun.
I'm just picturing the A's going around just beating the hell out of everyone in the AL West and like just the hot takes that we would hear from those Texas teams and everything else about getting beaten by a team of all
A very flamboyant gay team.
Yeah, that's yeah doing the YMCA. I like that, Carl. We'll add that to it too. They're doing the YMCA in between innings like Yankee Stadium.
Perfect.
So that's that's the number 1 scandal that really should be going on right now. Number 2, this one might actually happen one day. If the Atlanta Braves, previous law enforcers, we remember the Brian McCann Braves going around telling you what you can and cannot do about the unwritten rules. What if they actually wrote those rules? And they did it after holding Rob Manfred hostage with Ozzie Albies' family, because that's how they got him to sign that contract. Now players can no longer celebrate. They cannot walk across the mound under any circumstances. They cannot smile inappropriately or appropriately. And they definitely can't bunt during a no-hitter for fear of suspension, because the Braves have now written the unwritten rules into the written rules. And that totally just shut down Matt's webcam and everything. And there he is. So, Matt, what do you think of that? The Braves now are the law enforcement of baseball, and they've written it into the rules.
Unwritten rules. I think you'd have the biggest strike in baseball history. Everyone, why would you want to play? If you can walk around the mound, you can do anything. You're just going to be like, okay, I'm done.
You know what I think about? The oldest millennial now is like 38, and the youngest one's about 20. So basically, all of Major League Baseball at this point is in our generation, which is the millennials. And I'm just thinking,
this is very true.
If you now took away, like you now made the unwritten rules popular again, how well that would go over. I don't think it would be very well at all.
Not very well.
Yeah, like Dallas Braden would be rolling in whatever grave he's in right now in Oakland. Yeah, not good. So here's one that's going to hit home for a lot of people. If the Yankees were exposed for having a year-long fight club last year in their clubhouse, Every time a fan tweeted trade for blank and it was a ridiculous suggestion, the team had a fight closed to the public. Miguel Andujar, Jordan Montgomery, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Dellin Betances were the only ones who challenged Aaron Judge, and the results prevailed. So, yeah, it's plausible, right? 40 guys to the IR last year, or IL last year. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I could see it happening, That's why they got injured so much. They had a secret fight club.
It makes sense. I mean, Brian Cashman's been planning this for years. When he trades for Giancarlo Stanton, when he's got Betances on the team, Judge on the team, he had CeCe on the team last year. I mean, these guys are massive.
Yeah, he's getting all the heavyweights.
Yeah, I think wrestling life right now has some sort of like tag team or something competition going on. I would like to add the 2019 Yankees into that competition.
Into the tag team.
Yeah. See how far they went. Those are massive. They're like as big as wrestlers, some of them.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. So, yeah, we broke the number one rule. Do not talk about the Yankees 2019 Fight Club. Number 4, if the Pirates have completely revamped their roster going into this season, and they got nabbed by the commissioner's office because all of their invites to spring training, including the entire projected 26-man roster, were actually 12-year-old hardworking Indonesian boys. It's a Bob Nutting thing. He would then appeal to MLB, claiming that though young, those boys have strong hands and wrists and will translate into baseball. So basically, Bob Nutting is just, he's like, we got to go even cheaper than this. We're gonna hire sweatshop workers to man the Pirates. They'd win like the same amount of games.
Yeah, it's just like, what? It's okay. We're just going to go, just drop the ball and just go right down to child labor. Totally cool.
Just skip a few levels. They're not even the minor league guys. We're going.
Yeah, we're not even going to try what's called outsourcing. Just go straight to child labor.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't put it past Bob Nutting. How can you?
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I mean that's why they fired their GM. He was against it.
Yeah, this guy, he was like, that's just it's too inhumane for my liking. I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. or maybe he was like, they should be from Malaysia instead. Those are the better baseball players.
Probably. Yeah.
So we'll never know. The final one we're gonna give you. The Mariners front office were in some headlines somewhere recently because it turns out Jerry Dipoto, Mariners GM, he does a shitload of coke and generally has no idea what's going on when he agrees to trades. Matt, I think that history bears this out. So what are your thoughts?
It seems totally plausible. High on a coke binge. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to trade this player for that trade. I don't even really care what I'm doing right now. I'm just blacked out on coke.
Ian Segura doesn't look great to me. I'm going to trade him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and speaking of...
Maybe he was in rehab when he traded for Jared Clonetti.
Yeah, you want to take Robinson Cano's salary? I'm not sure that I'm sober enough for this, but sure.
Yeah, but go right ahead.
We'll send you Edwin Diaz. Yeah, whatever. I never liked him anyway.
Yeah.
It's more than plausible, which, by the way, King Felix just signed with the Braves, tying two of those teams in nicely together. So hopefully those will catch fire. Those should be the scandals we're discussing, not this Astros boring sign stealing scandal that we've exhausted at this point in baseball life. So yeah, feel free to talk about those. No, if they're not listening, which that's the majority of baseball life right now, they'll have no idea what you're talking about. So it'll work even better.
Yep.
So that's our superior scandal segment. And now we're going to transition right into something else that's been kind of bothering Matt and I this whole week. We've started to see Carlos Beltran's niece, who wasn't his real niece, speak up and claim he or she has even more dirt on MLB players. Scott Brocious, the third base coach for the Mariners and former Yankee playoff hero, his son David came out saying Mike Trout was on HDH or HGH, then implied he didn't mean it was illegal HGH, and then he implied he had no idea if Trout was on HGH or not. So this got us thinking above the dugout here. What else can be going on in MLB that we'll find out about soon? Well, luckily on this show, we're introducing, for the first time ever, we have Matty Rosenthal. He is exclusive to Above the Dugout and our investigative reporter here. He's on hand to deliver some of the latest player rumors around baseball. So Matty Rosenthal, take it away.
Sorry, I'm missing my bow tie. Forgot it. Totally unacceptable. Should I get a little shorter? Should I get down a little bit?
You
So
gotta be
Aaron
about
Judge is in
5'2".
the news, right? He's in the news for actually being a babushka doll filled with Thor and Altuve. It explains his freakish height and strength, but the Yankees will have a real problem on their hands trying to figure out his arbitration at this point. Like, okay, how many players are we really paying for now? What's your thoughts on that, Vince?
That's an arbitration nightmare, man. I don't. How do you quantify Thor? Like, does he even fit? Is he allowed to play? And now we got two Altuve's walking around or crawling around, whatever Altuve does. So yeah, I mean that's a definite nightmare. And with the Yankee payroll
Getting
problems,
buzzed all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's buzzers everywhere. Is Judge going to get suspended? I mean, that's a big mess.
That's a huge mess. So speaking of Altuve, you may be wondering who has been acting as one of the Astros in light of that news. Jose Altuve on the Astros is actually banned horse jockey Darren Egan, who was suspended 12 years for horse racing for giving out insider trading gambling information. Egan has apologized by saying he's not here to talk about insider trading or identity fraud. He's just here to win the World Series next year.
I knew it. Man, I've been saying since I saw Jose Altuve, he was definitely a horse jockey who found his way into Major League Baseball somehow.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Darren Egan.
He's definitely got the height to be a horse jockey.
Yeah, and that fits his slimy persona. He's already been kicked out of one sport. He's trying to get kicked out of another.
Yeah,
and the whole time he's been 5 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally plausible.
I buy it.
All right, here we go. And on the next one, Yohan, excuse me on the name, Moncada, and Jose Abreu not only taught Yasiel Puig how to eat his passport while defecting here, which is, oh my God, my phone keeps turning off. Sorry, guys.
I'm on the edge of my seat with Maddie Bushnell's children right now.
Which is an famous story we found out a couple years ago. Just as a becoming a hazing to all players. New players joined the White Sox this year. They ate everyone. The team's passports as well. They will have to forfeit all their games in Toronto.
All right, so the Cuban players on the White Sox ate the entire team's passports. Now they can't play in Toronto because they can't leave the country. I mean, that's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
I look at it as the White Sox are some people's picks for AL Central winners. If you have to forfeit all those games to Toronto, it's already at least 3 games down the toilet.
Yep, 3, 4 at least.
Bad spot. Bad Cubans. Don't do that.
Yeah, they'll be eating passports now.
What else you got for us?
Many people thought Rocco Baldelli Manager of the Year with the Twins was all that. Well, we found a mistake he made this past week. In an effort to cut his costs, he's been using sports psychologist who's been working for the past year and other rumors. Armando Benitez is back in the Major League Baseball.
Oh, shit. That explains so much. You know what? I always was worried because the Twins are always so cheap about everything. It makes perfect sense they'd hire Armando Benitez to be their sports psychologist, and it also makes perfect sense.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, look at how they play against
under the table, no taxes, no nothing.
Yeah,
don't have to worry about it.
Brutal, man. You just of all the ways to cut corners.
Oh, this is a big one here, guys. Shohei Ohtani, the 2018 Rookie of the Year who battled injuries last season, has decided to his versatility. Not only will he be hit and pitch in 2020, and with a new rule in MLB, he can now rehab for one while doing the other in the majors. But he has also been working out with Punxsutawney Phil. Famed groundhog who's come out of every Groundhog's Day. Starting this season, if Shohei Ohtani sees his own shot, he replaces himself on the IL.
Oh, no. Matt, you're an Angels fan.
So I guess the moment he walks out on opening day, he's going on the IL.
Oh, that's brutal. So instead of training for hitting or pitching, he could do either. He's actually been training with Groundhog's Day groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil. And now if he sees his own shadow, he's going to go on the IL because you know that he's afraid of everything, including himself.
That hits me hard. I'm an Angels fan, too.
I know. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I had high hopes for you, and he just ruined all of it.
Yep.
All right, fine.
I wanted him to be our ace.
And that has been our fake rumors, just to give you the full experience, because I know that you guys have seen some pretty crazy rumors out there. Well, there were some more that I think are better, and so does Matt.
Yeah.
So on some more serious notes, the teams, three teams are without a manager here in mid-January, which I assume is unprecedented. I've never heard of that. I can't remember a time when this was the case. If anyone in the comment section here, yeah, 6 more weeks on the IL for Ohtani. If anyone in the comments knows of a time this has happened, let us know. But I don't think it's happened. So the Astros, Sox, and Mets, of course, are all of those teams because they lost or are about to lose all of their managers. All of them at this point are unemployed because they're either suspended or they were fired or stepped down, however you want to look at it. So in the sign stealing scandal. So they're scrambling for new ones, these three teams. But what's crazy is that, like, we started this winter with 8 managerial openings anyway, which also feels on the high end. So it's been like a manager carousel this entire winter. And I'll take you through a recap. And then I want to get your thoughts, Matt, on what the Mets, Astros, and Red Sox might be looking at as far as who they're going to hire or where their thought process might be. But the managers already hired. Like these have been the processes already, just to refresh everyone, because most of them got resolved in November. We have the Pirates, who hired a boring old white guy in Derek Shelton to replace their previous boring old white guy. Then the Padres, who hired likely former porn star Jace Tingler. And then the Giants, trying as hard as possible not to do anything inventive or creative, hired much maligned former Phillies manager Gabe Kapler. The Cubs, who are really, really, really out of money, and they've proven it, decided to hire former catcher David Ross, so they have someone to fire and not owe a lot of money to once they trade the core they can't afford. And then we've got the Angels, tired of San Diego owning the great zoo monopoly in California, hiring Joe Madden, who's said to have petting zoos for the sad-looking players on each off day. And then you've got the Phillies trying to remember really hard what it was like the last time they were ever successful. So they decided to take Joe Girardi for their new manager and also sign Didi Gregorius to try and be as much like the Yankees as possible. You got the Royals, limited in hiring someone their fans have ever heard of, and a good old Midwest nice guy for fear of being kicked out of Kansas City. They went ahead and hired former Cardinals failure Mike Matheny. And then you got, those are the first 7. So, of course, now what's crazy is the Mets hired Carlos Beltran already this winter. He turned out to be a massive cheater. So now they have to go and hire their second manager this winter alone. And the Sox and Astros have to find new managers since theirs are both likely out of baseball for at least 2020, if not longer for Cora. So, Matt, we've got Astros, Mets, and Sox. We've already seen a lot of movement. Mets are on their second manager. What are your thoughts on this? Like, where are they going to go with these searches?
Well, you got to think about the Astros. You got to think they have the most stigma on them. So they're like, okay, who wants to lead this team who just got caught in this huge fucking scandal? It's like, and then you have the Boston Red Sox, who are also under investigation right now for the same thing, and also fired their manager for being a henchman in the Astros organization. But just like the Mets are Metting, they end up somehow in the middle of this just because they decided to hire Beltran as their manager. They didn't do any of the cheating per se, but they wrapped into it just because they hired Beltran. And now they part ways.
It's a rough spot.
So it's kind of a rough spot. But if I'm any manager, I'm going to be going to basically the Mets. The best option should go to the Mets because they have the less stigma on them. But either way, I guess the Astros are looking at Dusty Baker.
Yeah, the Astros are interesting, right? Because they're probably the best built team out of the three with the most payroll flexibility, so to speak. You never quite know what their number is. They've never exceeded the cap, but they're least desirable. And I think that's been written about. That's a take that we've heard before. I think the Mets have the worst end of the situation just because Beltran never even managed a game. They didn't do anything wrong. All they did was hire the wrong guy. You can say that maybe they knew and tried to just look past it, but hardly something compared to what Cora and Hinch have been doing or not doing. So Dusty Baker for the Astros, I can see their line of thinking, right? They want to hire someone who's like a no-nonsense type of guy, A, because it looks good from a PR standpoint, but B, because it, might actually clean up the shenanigans going on that team. Red Sox we're seeing in here. We've gotten a few suggestions. Bartolo Colon managing the Mets, Jason Varitek for the Red Sox. I'm curious what the Red Sox do. I feel like they'll either go the interim route, depending on if Cora is only out a year, or because they were like very heartbroken when Cora had to step down. I think they'll go the experienced route too.
I don't think they go like a first-year manager route like Varitek. There's no way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because the Red Sox kind of have to go for it this year, especially if they're asking for 2 top prospects for Mookie Betts and David Price, which is like taking on $60 million in payroll, and then you also want to take someone's top 2 prospects. I don't see that happening. So by default, the Red Sox are in the last year of their World Series window. If you think they're even World Series caliber. So yeah, that's a tough spot.
Yeah, it's a very tough spot. This whole thing, and the thing that makes this all tougher, spring training basically starts in a month.
Yeah, so not a lot of time.
Pitchers and catchers report in 27 days, 26 days, something like that. Like they have 3 weeks to find a fucking manager.
That's why I think the Sox will go internal. They'll go with either someone already on their staff, and then they'll probably do like a full search.
That's why
Johnny
I'm thinking
just pointed out their bench coach.
I think the Astros do the same thing with Esposada or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Esposada, because he's already there, so like he doesn't have to be like introduced to the stigma because he's already inside of it.
Yeah, you may have to for the Mets, or for the Astros and Red Sox, just because they're going to come with a little bit of stink, and you need a manager real quick. Whereas the Mets, I think, they can kind of go back to who they interviewed the first time around.
Yep.
And maybe pull out plan B or plan C if they had one. I think Eduardo Perez was being tossed around. He's also interviewing with the Astros, but they have a little more leeway in my mind because they could be very successful this year, but I don't think they're expected to be.
Yeah.
And B, they're more on the upswing. Like that core is very young and cost controlled. Theoretically, they're getting new ownership in like 4 years. Maybe they'll spend some money in the future. Cespedes just reworked his shitty deal. So things are looking up a little bit more, I think, even though they have less talent in my mind than the Red Sox and Astros. I think from a managerial standpoint, they have a little more leeway to kind of make their decision in due time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that. Like they're not the best team to take over, but more leeway and just gonna be easier to take over, I feel.
Yeah. We're getting some good suggestions. Sam Malone, because everybody knows his name, but Buck Showalter was suggested. I mean, he always floats around. I almost wonder at this point if Buck has interest because he hasn't taken a job. He's kind of like Joe Girardi to me, where like every time they're not employed, I'm kind of confused as to why. Because
we've known about them interviewing with clubs and getting talking with teams. So it's just like, are they choosing not to stay unemployed?
Right. Or is it like the perfect situation? Like Girardi, for the longest time, it was he'll only manage in Chicago, where his family's from, or New York, where he lives. Yeah. And he took the Phillies job, which I get because, Philadelphia is not that far from New York. So
there's always good old Mike Scioscia too.
What is he doing? What pasta is he eating?
He's actually been working with the Dream prospects. He was just down with Ron Washington. Like working with the prospects in Arizona this past weekend.
Is he still? So he's still involved with the Angels?
Not with the Angels. He's been involved with like MLB stuff.
Oh, just all the prospects.
Yeah, like all the prospects.
Oh, okay. I thought you were implying just Angels prospects.
No, he's done with the Angels.
And, all right, so then I also assume Ron Washington's done with managing.
Yeah. No, he didn't say that, but he actually just said the other day he wanted to get back into managing. He just hasn't received a phone call. There's actually a quote on it.
Well, if he's listening to this show, he'd be a really good match with Jerry DiPoto in Seattle.
Yeah.
Just have their Coke ring out of the dugout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can make an extra fucking few thousand on the side. Easy.
Yeah. No Josh Hamilton's allowed. So there you go.
No, he'd start up all your stash.
Yeah. On second thought, maybe they're a terrible match for each other. They just keep fighting over their drugs together. Good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see though, because again, it's unprecedented. So we don't know how you pull together
Yeah, exactly.
this
I don't think we've
search.
ever seen three managers all get fired or let go at the same fucking time.
Yeah, in like the back half of the winter.
Yeah.
Uh, but they are interviewing already. So I would bet that at least the Astros and Mets have their new manager before the end of the month, which gives them about a week and a half. Which, considering they're already that would be my timeline. Whereas
Yeah.
again, well, in this case, the Red Sox might actually hire last just because they're still waiting on all the punishments. Although I don't know if that would affect the manager search. They already know Cora's gone because he's off the team. So I don't know. We'll see. Be
We
interesting to see
will.
how it plays out. So that's going to segue us very seamlessly into a new segment that we will actually keep on this show. So we have the top five, which is our final segment. And then we also are going to keep this segment on the show, which we like a lot. Notable moments in Marlins history. So here on Above the Dugout, we're a very empathetic group. We feel the Marlins are underappreciated and largely ignored by the mainstream media and everyone as a whole, including their own fans, which is very sad. So we're going to introduce a new segment we'll have every episode called Notable Moments in Marlins History. This is where we try to educate you, the fan, on notable moments in Marlins history. The segment will officially be called Fish Food for Thought, though. So if you hear us advertising about Fish Food for Thought, now you know what to look out for. So on our first ever Fish Food for Thought, we have Special Trades Edition with our first notable moments in Marlins history. Matty Rosenthal back with us again for his second segment. Take it away.
On January 25th, 2018, the same day the Marlins traded Christian Yelich for four prospects headlined by soon-to-be bust Lewis Brinson. A Florida man previously arrested 344 times seeked help from an organization helping great offenders, but was arrested again. He was banned from Miami Beach, where the organization was based. His previous crimes, including the stealing a milk crate.
Wow. So on the same day Christian Yelich was traded for a bust and three other prospects, there was a man who was arrested 344 times, got arrested again because the place he was trying to go he was banned from, and he previously stole a milk crate.
Yep.
Oh,
correct.
Man. Okay. What else do you have for us? That was very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. On December 9th, 2017, the same day, the Marlins traded Giancarlo Stanton for Starlin Castro and some non-prospect, and then ate some of Stanton's remaining contract. A Florida man was arrested for punching and pistol whipping a woman over an argument about KFC.
Wow, that's crazy. I wonder if Marlins fans remember that date as well as we do now. So on the same day, Giancarlo Stanton got traded for Starlin Castro, some non-prospects who are probably never going to pan out, and they ate part of his salary to make him go away, even though he's their franchise player. There was actually a man who was arrested for punching and pistol whipping a woman over an argument about KFC.
Yep, he really wanted that bucket of extra crispy.
That's crazy. All right, one more, Maddie. What do you have for us?
One more. On February 7th, 2019, the same day, Marlins traded JT Realmuto to the Phillies for a prospect package around AA pitcher Sixto Sanchez. A Florida man was on the run after believing he was God and threatened to heal and kill people. Can't make this shit up, man.
That's nuts. So JT Real, I mean, that was just last year. So JT Realmuto, almost get that name right, gets traded for Sixto Sanchez, who's in Double-A, had a pretty decent Double-A debut last year. But there was a Florida man on the run after believing he was God and threatening to heal and kill people.
Florida, you can't.
Nobody does Marlins history better than you, Matty Rosenthal.
Oh, thank you. I try.
No one's ever going to forget these great moments in Marlins history. Yeah. So that has been Fish Food for Thought. Now he can remember the great moments.
I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it brings out of us.
I know.
So here we go. All right, we've been a little too serious on the show, so now we're going to go with a game show. This is a direct competition between Maddie and I. regular Maddie, not Rosenthal, because that'd be cheating.
Yeah.
After
He
delivering
knows a
all of
lot
this,
more.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't stand a chance there. After delivering all of this heavy hitting news, we thought it would be a good time to have this competition before our top 5, which is going to close out the show. So Matt and I are going to have a little competition here. Matt, you and I have seen a lot of baseball so far in our lives. We're relatively near the same age. So we're going to have a little pissing contest as to who has seen more players live. So the way this is going to work is the twist is if you or I have seen a player the other hasn't. So I name a player and you have not seen that player. What you would have to do in that situation is reveal an obscure player, just who has ever played in baseball, doesn't have to be any sort of time period, and educate again, because we're all about education here. We're going to educate our listeners as to who that player was and give a brief, factoid about them, if you will. And to do it in
Sounds good.
To do it in true baseball competition fashion, we're going to do a best of 7. So first one to lose is the one who did not see 4 of the other person's players.
Yeah.
And they would have revealed 4 names at that point. So does that sound good?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Okay. Now let's add one more stipulation. The player has to have played since 1996, because that's the first game I ever went to. Was 95, but whatever. 96.
Mine's 98, so whatever.
All right, we'll go with 90. You know what? Let's go with 2000. They have to have played this century.
Okay.
At some point.
All right.
Okay. All right, you can go first since I'm introducing it here.
Barry Bonds.
I did see Barry Bonds in 2002. Okay. I was at the game that Barry Bonds hit that Titanic 3-run shot in Yankee Stadium. I don't know if you've ever seen this highlight, but you should.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
It was like halfway up the upper deck. I was at that game, and what cracks me up about that game. So Jason Schmidt struck out 13 in that game, which is crazy back then. The Yankees tied that game because Nick Johnson did a 3-run home run that maybe went 6 inches over the wall. It just cracked me up. They were both 3-run home runs, but one was about 200 feet further than the other one. And Yankees end up losing that game. Mariano Rivera blew a tie game. Didn't blow a save, but got the loss. So we lost that game 4-3. I remember that vividly though, because it was Barry Bonds.
Mariano blew a game?
Yeah. So here's another fun factoid about Mariano Rivera. I have this friend, Owen. We've been to 2 games together. Major League. No, we've been to 3 games together. In 2 of them, Mariano Rivera lost.
Like, what? I bet you never brought Owen back.
Yeah, he's never allowed. Yeah, I went with him to that Giants game because he's a big Giants fan. And Mariano Rivera blows a tie game in the 9th, off an error, I think, by Soriano or something.
Oh my God.
And then the second time I went with him was a tie game against the Rays, and he gave up back-to-back home runs, which I think is the only time in his career he ever did that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's never allowed. Now that Mariano's retired, maybe I'll go to another game with him, but he was never allowed back after that.
There you go.
Yeah. So all right. So Bonds, that's no strike for me. I've seen him. Let's go with David Ortiz.
I've seen David Ortiz.
Oh man. All right. Still tied. Yeah. We'll make these harder as we go, but you go now with your counter.
Crap. Trying to think of someone here. I have the list here.
Damn, you came better prepared than me. I'm just going off the cusp here.
Rod Carew? No, he doesn't count.
No. Not eligible.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
Not eligible. Let's see. Tim Salmon?
Ooh. No, I haven't, because the first time I saw the Angels was 2002, and I don't think he was there anymore, right?
No, he was there, but he won the World Series with them. Yeah, he finished his whole career with the Angels.
Okay.
So he probably retired in 2006.
All right. Well, yeah, then I must have seen him, so you lose anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Here we go. Ken Griffey Jr.
No.
All right. Yeah. So there we go. That's the first one on the board. Played in the 21st century. I saw him actually Dwight Gooden's no-hitter. So he went 0 for 3 that game.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. All right. Who's your first player I want to learn about?
His name is Johnny Dickshot.
Right up my alley.
Having the name Johnny Dickshot can make up growing up hard, but when you're given the name Ugly and suddenly find yourself being referred to as Ugly Dickshot, things can't get any easier.
That's fantastic. You know, I was actually introduced to Johnny Dickshot like 2 weeks ago because that's just what people do when I'm around them.
That's fucking fun. That's awesome.
And I looked him up even further. So he played 6 years in the 30s and 40s. He had 7 career home runs and a career WAR of 2.2. Not a great player. But here's the craziest stat about him. The 7 home runs he hit, they came in 2 seasons, and those seasons were 7 years apart from each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he hit like 3 home runs 1 year and then 0 the next 6. I think he didn't play 2 of those seasons, but like the next 4 seasons he had 0, then he hit 4. That's Johnny Dickshot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like my dude.
This year.
All right, so I'm up 1-0 on you. It is your turn now.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
When did Tony Gwynn retire?
Ooh. I thought it was after 2000.
Yeah.
He was in the 98 World Series, right? So
yeah.
I have never seen Tony Gwynn. I've never seen the Padres, so yeah, that's that is a loss for me. And I will counter your Johnny Dickshot with Dick Pole. Double Dick.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. 6 seasons in the majors in the 70s, 1970s. Career negative WAR, so even worse than Johnny Dickshot. Yeah, I mean, Dick Pole sucked is all you have to know. And his best season, he had an ERA of exactly 4.20, which I know you'll appreciate. So, yeah, now we're really above the dugout. Best season, exactly 4.20 ERA. That's Dick Pole. We're tied at 1. It's my turn.
Now we're high on the dugout.
I'm gonna go with Robinson Cano.
I've seen Robinson Cano.
Okay, damn. All right.
He played with Seattle. Come on, I'm an Angels fan.
You know, I tossed you a little bit of a bone. I didn't know if you saw him in the few years he was there. Well, I guess it's been a lot. It's been like 5 years. Tony Gwynn retired in 2001 is what I'm seeing. So good for us.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. So now it's your turn again.
Josh Hamilton.
I did see Josh. I've seen the Texas Rangers once this afternoon, and Josh Hamilton was there. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so that's out. No, I'm not even gonna waste my time with that guy. I know you've seen him. Let me dig in deep for this one. Oh, well, you know what? Derek Jeter. You ever see him?
No.
Yes. Beat you with a Yankee. That should count as 10 points. All right. I'm up 2-1. Who do you have?
I have Oil Can Boyd.
Okay.
That's what they called him.
I remember Oil Can. All right. At least I know of him. Yeah. What about him?
Spent 10 seasons in the league playing for 3 different teams. His longest tenure was in Boston, and where he won 60 games in 8 seasons.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You earned it. What's your shot? I mean, what's your player? Still Johnny.
My player now is going to be Shohei Ohtani.
I have, yeah. The Reds game I went to last year was the first time I saw Ohtani live.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. That was also my first time seeing Mike Trout, so don't waste your time.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw Ohtani, and actually I almost didn't see him because I think he pinch hit in that game.
Okay. So you got lucky.
I did, yeah. Okay. Man, let me think. There's like 1,000 players, and you freeze up when you're put on the spot like this.
I know exactly.
All right, player after 2000 will go Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, I've seen Manny.
Oh, okay, your turn.
I saw him when I was 14 years old. He hit a home run right over the freaking Pride Rock.
It's very specific. I saw him hit a home run too at Fenway. The only time I saw a Yankee Red Sox game there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who do you have?
Let's see. Let's go with. God damn it! Yeah, you're right. Putting on the spot kind of sucks here.
Mm-hmm. To clarify, by the way, they had to have played since 2000.
Yeah,
and have to only play in 2000 and beyond. So if they played in the 90s and retired in 2000, it's still cool.
Totally fine. Totally cool. Okay. I keep thinking of Yankee players, but you've seen them all.
Yeah, that's a bad place. You should stick to the West
Yeah, I
Coast
don't know
if you want to
why.
get me.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to stick to the West Coast. Let's see. Did you ever see Garrett Anderson?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think I assume I did on that 2002 Angels team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, crap. Okay,
Yeah.
that's bad one.
Weird thing about that year. I went to 2 games that year. Is Yankees Angels and Yankees Giants, and the Angels played the Giants in the World Series. Only 2 games I went to.
Yeah.
All right. So, help me out, people. Just start naming guys.
Yeah. I don't have Facebook on. My laptop died.
I gotta. Mike Mussina. No, nice.
No.
You're tired in after 2001, so I get one there. Mike Mussina started the first game I ever went to, which was in '95, and he started for the Orioles. So I actually never saw him as a Yankee. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right, so I'm up 3-1. It's your player. Who do you have?
Dick Patton. In a career of ups and downs, Dick Patton played for 4 different major league teams and 3 different minor league teams in a decade. He finished his career with a 258 average and a 326 on base percentage in 874 games.
That's pretty good. You know, Dick Patton was also on my list, so I can give you some more facts too.
Nice, go for it.
Yeah, he played in 2 different centuries, which I always think is cool. 1800s and 1900s. His first 5 seasons, he hit 2 home runs every single season, which is just a weird statistical glitch. And then he had just 1 home run his final 5 seasons. So 10 home runs his first 5, 1 his final 5. And he struck out 164 times, and ready for this, 3,545 plate appearances. If that's a sign of the times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't even know what percentage that would be. But I am up 3-1. It's your guy. So who do you have?
Hoffman.
Who'd you say?
Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman?
The Padres.
God,
Trevor Hoffman.
You're killing me on the Padres. No, I have not seen Trevor Hoffman. Damn. Yeah, just name the entire 2001 Padres roster and you'll probably win this game.
No, I won't be that mean.
I'm going to go with, because I like his information better, Ed Head. Played in the 1940s, right-handed pitcher, never had more than 18 starts in a season, despite having a career 3.48 ERA. So his entire career was with the Brooklyn Dodgers. 3-2, my turn. I'm going to go with Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I've seen Rizzo.
Shit. All right, your turn.
Chipper Jones.
No, I've seen the Braves a couple of times, but it was never during the Chipper era. It was after him. Oh, man. We're going to a game 7, and I'm going to give you... I don't know here. I had to look through my notes. Give you a real good one. How about Dickie Thon? Played 15
there
years.
Go.
Yes, 15 years for 6 different teams. Finished 7th in MVP voting in 1983 when he had a whopping 798 OPS. So that'll get you the MVP in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Man, I got to make this count. We're tied at 3 now. I will go with. I'm going to go even more obscure with the Cubs and go with Kyle Hendricks.
No.
Yes. All right. Starting pitching, man. Good that someone suggested that we go with relievers or closers. And I was like, that makes sense. But that's a little,
Well, yeah, because it's hard. Not every one of them gets into a damn game. Damn you, Facebook.
So I went with a starter instead, and I won that game. I saw him at Wrigley. So who do you have in your losing effort? Who?
Chicken Wolf.
Tell me about that Chicken Wolf. I have not heard of.
You think the name Chicken would be the way to go, but that's what William Van Winkle Wolf went by throughout his 11 playing careers in the late 1800s. 1 year in the major leagues.
Oh man! All right, not a long career for Chicken Wolf.
No, not a long. Yeah, because he's too much of a chicken.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I will. We can empty the vault here just so people can learn even more about our national pastime. The only player I actually had left that I haven't read yet is Pete LeCoq. He had 9 seasons with the Cubs and Royals in the 1970s. Another career negative WAR guy, 1.9, negative 1.9, and he had more walks than strikeouts, despite a career 326 on base percentage, which I find very fascinating.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating.
Yeah, I don't even know how you
Did I win?
No, I won.
You won.
Yeah, I win 4-3, game 7. That's it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Or we'll have to think of more game shows in the future since I just exhausted.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, all 6 players that I found fascinating. Good. All right. Well, hey, we're winding down here. We're in stoppage time. Last but not least, continuing from last week, it's the top 5. So we actually this time gave it to the voters on Baseball Life. This week's top 5 is been very popular on Baseball Life. Top 5 reasons the Yankees are ruining baseball. As decided by me. So this should go over well. Matt,
Brian Horsford, you better be here for this.
Yeah, Brian is listening, so this should make his life. Matt, it's the same rules as last time, but to remind
3 seconds to answer.
Yeah, to remind anyone who might be a new listener, I'm going to give Matt 3 seconds, so he's aware, to guess a reason the Yankees are ruining baseball. If he doesn't answer correctly or at all, I will rapid fire read him the answer. All answers are completely subjective according to me. So Matt has to be in my head for this. We are going to rapid fire this real quick, and we're going to start with number 5. Matt, go.
What?
You got to guess. What's the reason? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know we were going.
Okay. Well, false start. Here, ready? I'm going to start.
Start.
When I say go, you have to make your first guess as to why the Yankees are ruining baseball.
Oh, okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Because they have overpaid mercenaries, and they have that want to do overpaid mercenaries.
I'm going to give it to you because they spend money on payroll. Of course, spending money on payroll and reinvesting in the on-field product is frowned upon. Since when are businesses successful when they spend money on themselves? The Yankees should be like most teams and have owners pocket the money and subscribe to socialism, since they haven't won a World Series without a Democrat in office anyway in over 60 years. Number 4, Matt, go.
Because they had one of the best owners in baseball.
No, they made the Astros cheat. Just like your crazy uncle who blamed your sweet old aunt for his infidelity when he drunkenly blamed her that one Christmas for being too nice and pressuring him with too many delicious dinner options. The Astros didn't need to cheat if the Yankees didn't rebuild from a core of 40-year-olds and missing the playoffs 3 of the previous 4 years overnight and push them to the brink of the ALCS, even though the Astros won 10 games more in the regular season and had home field advantage. It's the Yankees' fault, and they're snitches for getting upset about it. Matt, number 3, go.
2 words, Derek Jeter.
Ooh, that's a good one, but no, what the hell? I can't relocate to any state in the country without finding one of these front-runner fans. Don't the Yankees know it's only acceptable to have front-running fans if you haven't won in a long time and then all of a sudden become great like the Astros? It's been 10 years and the Mets still haven't taken over the city. The Sox still haven't taken over the majority of fandom. That's not how this is supposed to work, according to your rarely successful coworker who roots for some nondescript Midwestern or second-class West Coast team. They have too many fans. That was number 3. Number 2, Matt, go.
27 rings.
Oh, my God, you're so close, but not for this one. They're so arrogant about their past. You know what? I'll give it to you. That's close enough. Seriously, how many times do we need to remember how successful the Yankees have been? It's not like other teams do this with irrelevant accomplishments like wild card banners in their stadium, or more successful teams throw out how many World Series they have won this century after they didn't win any for 86 years before that, or they create slogans like "Take it back" after a whopping 1 year of not winning. It's just the Yankees and their stupid fans who do this. Number 1, Matt, go.
I don't know.
God, it's the easiest one. Now they have 28 rings instead of 27. I'll explain why. It's true the Yankees don't even have to win the World Series this year, which they probably will anyway because they're so arrogant. They already won the World Series in 2017, working on an agreement with the Dodgers, who have now won the 2018 World Series. Sorry, Red Sox and Astros. Somehow, oddly, Mets fans also sorry. That's what happens when teams cheat so badly. It's on video with thousands of hours of footage. Next time an ignorant Yankees fan incoherently and incorrectly shouts 27 rings, be sure to correct them by yelling 28 rings with no context or explanation whatsoever. Woo! There, that was for Aaron. that has been our top 5 of the week. Reasons the Yankees are ruining baseball.
Ruining baseball.
Oh my goodness. All right. You have anything you want to add to this?
No.
Okay.
That was exhilarating. I'm pooped.
That was. I need water. All
I
right.
know. Me too. I forgot something.
This has been Above the Dugout. We are the most consistent podcast because we're on every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, right? That's still the case.
Yes.
So we'll be with you on February 3rd, the day after the Super Bowl, 5:30 p.m. That way, we can make the Deep Thirds podcast just melt because they won't be able to talk about the Super Bowl the day after. So works out perfectly for me. Anyway, this has been Above the Dugout with Matt Whelan. I am Vince Mercandetti. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Yes.
One more. The Lab airs Wednesday, 22nd, 6:10 Eastern.
6:10 Eastern. The Lab Wednesday. Their second episode.
Yeah, this Wednesday, the 22nd, second episode.
We don't have anything tomorrow, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So the Lab's your next one. Wednesday, 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. Matt Whelan and Johnny Gio Ortega. Be sure to tune in. Thank you for that plug, Matt. Thank you to everyone who listened. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.